Hello everyone, my name's Graham Smith. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're starting off a brand new series called Evidence for God. In this series, we're going to be looking at the strongest arguments for God's existence, and today we're kicking it off with the cosmological argument, specifically the Kalam cosmological argument. This argument is one of the strongest for God's existence, and many Christians will find it very helpful to use in their day-to-day discussion. That's why we're going to be looking at the most important aspects of the Kalam cosmological argument in today's video. Let's get started. Okay, so the main idea the cosmological argument wants to get across to us is that the universe had a cause for all its existence, in which case, God caused all of us to be here. Think of him as the uncaused first cause. He is the one who caused the first sets of atoms to come into existence. Something important we should take note of is that the cause of the universe can't be part of the universe itself, meaning that the cause should be spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. Since we all understand the three concepts of time, space, and matter, and the basic fact that we are all present in those three things, means we can come to the conclusion that the creator of the universe should be outside space, time, and matter. Think of it like this. You may create a clay figure or wooden structure, but you're not physically part of it. Although you made it, you are not the figure or the wooden structure. Just like this, although God made everything and is present in our daily lives, He isn't a part of this material universe. This means that questions like, did God have a beginning, is irrelevant, because the question itself presumes that God is susceptible to time like we are, which is not the case as we just established. If you think everything should fall into the three main categories of space, time, and matter, you are certainly mistaken, because we have abstract objects like numbers. The number 22, for example. 22 does exist outside of space, time, and matter, but it doesn't have what philosophers call causal powers. No, we need something more wise and more powerful. Something like a mind, for example, that is all-powerful and all-wise could cause the whole creation to come into existence. Now that we understand the main idea behind the Kalam cosmological argument, we can move on to the two premises by which it's presented and the conclusion that is drawn from those two premises. The first premise is, whatever began to exist must have a cause. The second premise being, the universe began to exist. And then the conclusion drawn from that, the universe had a cause. Just like any other logical argument, a reasonable approach is taken with this case. Two premises are presented which we mostly agree is true, and then a logical conclusion is drawn which then also must be true if we agree on the premises. The great thing about the Kalam cosmological argument is that all you need for the argument to be considered as evidence for God's existence is for the other person to believe that the universe exists, which I mean they kind of have to, because they live in it. Anyway, from there you can start to talk about why the universe exists, how it exists, and what caused it, or rather, who caused it. Now, how does this work as evidence for God? I mean, any naturalist can agree with you up until this point, and they'll just say, well, you didn't even mention God in the premises or in the conclusion, so I don't see how this can be considered as evidence for an almighty creator. You see, since we came to the conclusion that the universe had a cause, we can start reasoning our way towards what that cause actually is or who that cause might be. The cosmological argument is great because it's airtight and you don't need a degree in philosophy to understand the premises on which it's based and how it leads to God. A common objection towards the cosmological argument is that if everything that exists had a cause, doesn't that mean God had a cause as well? This objection comes from misunderstanding premise 1, where we clearly stated that everything that began to exist must have had a cause. Not everything that exists had a cause, in which case God has always existed. He is not susceptible to time as we are, and that's why this objection is invalid. Another objection skeptics like to throw at the cosmological argument, this time at premise 2, is that the universe is infinite and has no beginning. This creates a bit of a problem, you see, because every single day we're adding another day to the universe's timeline. But let me ask you this question. What is infinite plus 1? Infinite plus 2? Infinite plus 10? Infinite plus 50 million? It stays infinite, right? You see, this is why this objection is invalid. Because we cannot add or subtract from infinite. We will only stay with infinite. William Lane Craig describes infinite as an idea or concept we made up. And that's why it's not relevant to our society, because each day we are adding another day to the universe's ultimate timeline. And we wouldn't even be here today if the universe was infinite, because you would have had infinite time to pass before you got to this video. Now we can come to the conceptual analysis, where we start looking for the best explanations for the cause of the universe, which is in fact God. As I described earlier, the cause of the universe must be immaterial, spaceless, timeless, all-powerful, all-wise, and the cause must also be personal, with the intent of creating us. This fits the description of God perfectly. We can use Occam's razor to get rid of any other unnecessary multiple causalities, since we know only one being is needed to create the universe. So we are left with one eternal entity that created the entire universe. Now, who exactly is this entity, you might ask? Well, firstly, that gets you into theism, my friend. And secondly, you can download or pick up a physical Bible and start learning who God actually is. Because you accepted through the cosmological argument for God that there is one ultimate creator for this universe. You can also now go and compare Christianity to other religions, and you will inevitably find that the Christian God is the one who created all of the cosmos, including you. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you learned something in this video. Be on the lookout for my next video in this Evidence for God series, where I'm going to be talking about the teleological or design argument for God. Have an awesome day and God bless.